Hi, so welcome to our Hip Flexor Series. I'm going to talk you through a few exercises that we should be doing every day to start to build up that hip flexor strength and start to take some of the pressure out of those hips. You're going to want a rounded, pretty heavy band. I'm using a medium. You can use medium to heavy here. Light might be a little too light, but see how you go. So I'm going to put that to the side for the first few exercises. All you're going to do is start standing up. So your feet are hip width apart, you're standing nice and parallel. I actually really love doing this in front of a mirror. If you can get in front of a mirror, you're gonna shift your weight to your left foot and try and lift your right leg in front of you. So the goal is to hold this for about 30 seconds. As you're doing this, think, is your right hip hiking up or can you slide it down? Your knee is lifting as high as you physically can. It should be reasonably difficult to hold it up. If you're finding this is really easy, you can probably lift that leg a little bit higher. If it's feeling really impossible and we're more down here, that's okay. So once you've kind of found where you're holding it, we're holding it for about 15 more seconds. Think arms down by the side, shoulders open. If you start to fall, you can always kind of grab onto a wall or use something for support because we don't necessarily have to train your balance this morning. Going 5 more seconds here. If you can, stand a little taller and pull that knee up another inch. And relax, shake it out. And we're gonna go right into the other leg. So you're gonna lift the left leg up, stand up nice and tall. We're going for 30 seconds from now. Think that hip is down, you're lifting tall. Your abs are on, so instead of leaning back, think you're actually trying to lean a little forward, so you're more forward over that leg. And this one I tend to recommend doing when you're brushing your teeth or doing just in something where you can habit pair it to something you do every day. 10 seconds left. Lift that knee up a little bit higher. If you can, stand that little bit taller, fight for that balance. You're down to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Okay, let's grab your band. So we're gonna lie all the way down on your back. Grab your band. Now, if this is a little too heavy, you'll know immediately, you'll start to feel a pull in the back, and that means ditch the band or grab the lighter one. These often come in a packet, so ideally you have a few choices here. Lying on your back, both legs to tabletop, arms down by your side. We're gonna straighten one leg all the way straight. The other bent leg is pulling into your chest. You then return to tabletop. Little trick here, keep your feet hip width apart so that you don't lose the tension on your band. And then try the other leg. Other leg straightens all the way out. The bent knee pulls closer into your chest and return back to center. Slow and steady is key here. So our goal is to do this for about a minute. Sometimes I'll just count to 20. So that's 10 reps on each side. Now as you're down, think shoulders are open, rib cage is in, belly button is in. So you're really working on your posture as you're lying down. To make it harder, you just extend that straight leg lower. That's gonna give it more tension and recover. All the way out and recover. And if you wanna add a little bit more ab engagement here, you have the option to come up into your abdominal curl and do it in a curl. I play it by ear, see how I'm going that day. But as long as we're really challenging those hips and you're focusing on pulling that knee into your chest every time. Let's do 6 more on this one. For 6. And 5. And 4, really reaching it as we get to the end, challenge the range. 3. And 2. Last one. And relax. That's one you can just throw into your ab routine. You don't necessarily need to do it with all of the other hip flexor exercises, but it's a really good one to do on the daily to build them up. You're then gonna bring this up above your ankles and you're gonna come all the way up to standing. We're doing some fun ones. So the first one is the crab walk. You're gonna push out against the band as far as you can, step the foot out and then step the other foot in. All the way out against the band, all the way in. Once you get to the end of the mat or the end of your space, you take it the other way, all the way out, all the way in. What people tend to do here is they like shuffle their feet and they stomp them down. Instead, think, how far can you go? Place the foot, control back in. How far can you go? Place, control back in. You might find that you have a little more strength here, that your glutes are a little stronger, and you might be able to go a heavier band, and that's great. Let's do about 30 more seconds here. Now, if you have no space at all, you can also just do side, tap, side, tap. It's up to you. As long as we're going back and forth and we're using both legs and you're challenging your range as you go. We have about 10 more seconds here. All the way out, all the way out. I start to feel my glutes really burning by about this point. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Shake it out, reset. Super careful because it's still around your ankles, but you're gonna rotate so that you have enough space to walk forward and walk back. So with this one, we're gonna take one foot, you're gonna step it all the way forward as far as you can, slowly lift the back heel, and then go the other leg. All the way forward, as far as you can, slow in, all the way forward. When you reach your end, start to take it back. All the way back, and all the way back. Now, as I'm doing this, I'm keeping my feet hip width apart. So I'm taking it back on the diagonal, back on the diagonal, forward on the diagonal, forward on the diagonal. I start to feel almost like a little tingling in my hips here, where they're really working to push against that band. We're gonna do a full minute here of walking back and forth. Literally just walking as far forward and far back as you can without running into anything. Beautiful. We have 20 more seconds here. If you're not feeling anything in your hips, can we look down and check that you're not turning out your feet or turning in your feet? They're super parallel. And can you take a little wider step? So you go all the way out every time, all the way out. Go 10, 9, 8, 7, last 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. That's all of your banded work. So essentially the goal would be to be doing this one every day or as often as you can get it into your routine. If you start to feel your hip flexors are sore during the day, like when you're walking, you start to feel that pain, maybe we reduce this to a few times a week until we strengthen them up. If they're feeling particularly tight, you want to go for your quad stretch afterwards. In your quad stretch, you want to make sure that you're not sticking your butt back like this. Your knee is forward, your hips are forward. Because we're not trying to stretch the quad, we're trying to stretch your hip flexor. And you can grab onto something for balance here too, but think tuck the pelvis under, stand up tall, then squeeze the heel in. You want to hold it for 30 seconds on each side. Just if you feel like you're leaving and they're really tight, it's a good quick sort of stretch to finish this out. But think catch the foot, tuck the pelvis, stand up tall. Beautiful, and we're done.